The Limitless Journey podcast is a project that is dedicated to sharing the stories of young people who are challenging the status quo and positively impacting their communities with the sole purpose of motivating others to take action and live their best life or dreams. My name is Success Yole Areeveso, and I will be your host this season. Hello, everyone, and you're welcome to another episode of the Limitless Journey podcast. And I'm super excited to be doing this with you all. We've had amazing speakers in the past few weeks, and on today's episode, we're going to be having an amazing conversation with Ayomide Olukorede. We met on LinkedIn. In fact, I was the person that sent her a message on LinkedIn. That should be like September 2020 when I checked my messages actually. And I said, I hope we'll be able to collaborate on projects together in the future. Very, very funny backstory. And look at us now. I'm actually inviting her for my podcast. I'm super excited that Ayomide is doing this with me. So she is a plant scientist with a solid background in microbiology with over 8 years of experience, and she's a high-achieving and highly motivated African scholar. Let me just give you guys a full gist. She has won 2 scholarships for her master's program, and now she will be going for a Ph.D. program later this year, fully funded in the UK, where she will be furthering her studies in plant and microbial sciences. I really hope that you enjoy most of our conversations, get the lessons that you want to get from this episode as well too. And thank you so much, Ayomide, for agreeing to do this. You are amazing, and 2 years down the line and you are here. How are you doing? And I hope your day went well as well too.
Thank you so much, Success. I'm doing very, very fine, and I'm so excited to be on this podcast with you. It's been 2 years, and since we met, I've just always also been following your vibe, your energy, your WhatsApp post, and I'm like, girl has so much. She's such a vibe,
Thank you.
And I'm glad that we are doing together. I'm glad that we're finally, collaborating, like you said, that you took the networking thing really seriously. My day has been really fine. I've just really been at home and I didn't do much today, to be honest. It was hair day for me, so I just did simple hair washing and I've just been at home.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's it.
I think for me, I had a great start today as well too. I recorded a very unplanned episode. Today is 4th year anniversary for the organization that I'm a part of, Church on the Street, by the way, and it's just been so exciting as well too. But yeah, thank God that we started our day right. And so, quick one, I would like to know, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you do, and just introduce yourself to us. I like when my guests introduce themselves because people will understand it better.
Okay. My name is Ayomide Olukorede, like they introduced me. Some of my friends who know me generally as Ayomide and some know me as Mary. I don't know why. From different schools I've attended, people have just picked whichever one they liked and I've just gone with that. So a group of my friends will actually call me Ayomide and some will call me Mary. So if you're out there, I'm still the same person. Listening to this, I'm still the same person I'm referring to. So I grew up in Ibadan, even though I'm from Ekiti State. I've always been based in Ibadan. I'm from a family of 6 girls, and I'm the second of the 6. I studied microbiology at UCT University from undergraduate, and I went further to obtain a master's degree in industrial microbiology. Wow. After which I got a scholarship, Commonwealth scholarship, to do a master's degree in plant science and biotechnology at the University of Leeds in the UK. And later this year, I'll also be starting my position as a PhD student at the John Innes Institute in the UK as well. And I think that's really basically a summary of my academic background. So I have a background in microbiology, but I'm beginning to go more into plant science or plant biotechnology now as a scientist.
Wow, that's really inspiring. So currently now you have two masters, one in Leadway University and also in University of Leeds in the UK. And you won a Commonwealth scholarship. I didn't know you're a Commonwealth scholar. That's really nice. I just thought you just won normal scholarship. Wow, that's really nice. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing. Oh, thank you so much for
yeah.
sharing. So you said you grew up in Ibadan. Do you think that the place you grew up in, because I used to hear like so many myths or talk about people growing up in Ibadan and how the place is, do you think it kind of like affected you, or it kind of like pushed you to become the person that you are today? How do you think where you grew up in affected who you are today?
Okay. First of all, I would say when people meet me, to be honest, people never really believe that I grew up in Ibadan. That's a very, like, I've heard so many times. They would, for some reasons, weird reasons that I do not understand, they would think I grew up in Lagos. And I just think maybe it's about composure, or I don't know what it is. Well, I'm like, I grew up in Ibadan. So about saying, did my environment affect who I've turned out to be? Well, maybe yes, in some ways, but I would say I'm a kind of person that I've always had this mentality that you should not allow your background or your environment to be a limitation in any way. I've always tried to expose myself to things beyond Ibadan. I've always, yeah, that's reading books, listening to people, listening to international figures. I've always just had, I've tried to expose my mind and my thinking, my ideas, my way of life beyond Ibadan, to be honest. And I've always known that I'm going to be a global person and I want to go around the world. So if I have to do that, then I have to think beyond Ibadan. I have to think beyond the limitations Ibadan would want to put on me. And I also thank God for my parents and for the opportunities, for the kind of opportunities, they brought our way, even though we were in Ibadan. That also helped in many ways. The support was there. Thank God for good training, good education. They did their best to give us the best, even though we were in Ibadan. I went to also high school, Bodija, for my junior secondary school. And when my parents discovered that I picked serious interest in science, and they then wanted me to go to a school where I can focus fully on science. And then I went to Oladipo Alayinde School of Science. For people that know Oladipo Alayinde School of Science secondary school in Ibadan, you know that, well, I don't know about now, but then it was one of the best science schools, and we would usually go for competitions. The school would go for competitions and would win several competitions there. So that really helped me. I had a very good background. So I don't think it's about where you are. I don't think it's about, sometimes location really matters as well, but I think it's about who you are as a person. That will determine how far you can go, in life. So there might have been some limitations that Ibadan must have put in some way or the other, but yes, I thank God that I've been able to grow beyond that, and I've not allowed that to limit me in any way.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And a big shout out to your parents as well for the impact and supporting your career journey. I can also relate with what you said as well too. Parents are rare gems, and big shout out to mine as well, because when we know that we feel this kind of support from our family, we just have this tendency to continue to push and continue to ensure that we make them proud. And you turned out to be perfectly and awesomely amazing. And look at you now, winning scholarships year and year, doing big things, which is really nice. Okay, so now you are pursuing a career that is now known. I used to see it online. Obviously, I also did a science-related course. So I did chemistry education, and then we used to call it women in STEM. Like, you're doing a STEM career or pursuing a career in STEM. I don't know if that's the right word to say it, and feel free to correct me. So I know that there are a lot of young girls out there that would want to do something amazing, or they are, scared as to where do I start from? Do I pursue a career in STEM? Is it even worth it at this particular point in time? And some people don't even have an idea about what STEM is or what STEM career is all about. They just used to see it online. So my question would be, what does STEM mean to you? And when did you know? Because you mentioned you were really interested in sciences. And when did you know you wanted to pursue a career in STEM? So
first of all, STEM, involves 4 overlapping disciplines. There's science, there's technology, there's engineering, then there's mathematics. It is an acronym for the 4. But to me, I think it goes beyond the subject. STEM gives a skill set that governs the way we think and the way we behave. And each of the components of STEM brings valuable contribution to a well-rounded education. And I think the STEM approach generally to education fosters creativity, it fosters divergent thinking alongside fundamental disciplines, and it helps to prepare professionals also who can transform the society with innovations and sustainable solutions. So it goes beyond the subject. It's just if you can, people in science will really understand it. There's a way, STEM builds you as a person, not just for the sake of the research or the work you do, because there's a lot that goes into STEM that you as a person would have to change. You have to be modified. You have to I don't want to use transformed in a way, because there's a lot of skills that you would acquire if you're treading that path, basically. So, and if we think of it as a whole, it fosters creativity, people bringing their ideas. I'm very keen on collaboration. I'm very keen on looking at how you can bring your skill set, add it to mine, and see what we can create, innovative ideas that can come out of it to solve problems. Because the truth is, the major problems of the world today are not one directional. It's not just one way, and therefore they require collaborative way of solving them. So if we all come together, we bring our ideas, technology, engineering, science, all of those things together, then we will be able to find better solutions to our problems of today. So STEM to me goes beyond the subject. It speaks creativity, it speaks collaboration, it speaks innovation and sustainable solution.
Wow, creativity, innovation, and sustainable solutions. I think I really like how you described it. I'm even particularly more interested because I'm trying to make a decision. Do I want to pursue a career in STEM, pursue my chemistry line, or do my master's in chemistry, or I want to completely switch over to doing something relating to development? I'm still yet to make that particular decision. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. So when did you know that you wanted to pursue a career in STEM?
Well, for me, it didn't start out to be interest in STEM particularly. As a child, I just wanted to be a teacher, and this is really true. I just wanted to be a teacher. I think I grew up wanting to impact knowledge. I just like the idea of knowing something and being able to transfer that knowledge successfully to people, And teachers for me as a student child was it was an important part of my education, because it was my integrated science teacher that made me fall in love with science. She was one of the best teachers, I had then in school, because of the way she just made science so sweet and loving, the way she taught, the way she handled the class. It was always fun. She made science really fun. So I just fell in love with science, even though I was good with other subjects, but I just had so much love for science. So if I was going to teach, I used to tell my mom, I'm going to teach, I just want to, maybe it will be science. It has to be science. So for me, it just started out with, what do I enjoy and what can I focus on that I can, successfully transfer to people. So, going from integrated science, I went to School of Science, then from there, I even did A-level Cambridge examination where I also focused on physics, chemistry, biology. So for me, my chemistry and biology have always been on point. Those were like my best subjects. And so when it got to the time to go into the uni to study something that was torn, long story short, I got to a point where I was torn in between choosing microbiology and biochemistry. And that was because during my A-level, I fell in love with the course that was microbial genetics, which formed the foundation of why I'm so much in love with molecular biology and biotechnology today. So I was like, biochemistry, microbiology. Eventually, I went for microbiology. And the reason why I did is a story for another day. So I would just say God has just really designed my career path, and at every point in time, He made me, just fall in love with opportunities as He opens them up to me. So for me, initially wasn't STEM wasn't the goal. It was until now it's still past, transfer of knowledge, impact is still it's still really big in my mind, and that is why I'm pursuing the area of research and academia. And because I'm enjoying science and I see the opportunities that STEM can bring, to the world and in solving problems, I've decided to stay there, because talking about biotechnology, looking at the possibilities of, of the techniques that have been discovered and the ones yet to even be fully discovered, looking at the possibilities, looking at the opportunities, looking at the abilities, that made me decide to really stay in there, because there's so much we can do if we can explore the tools that God has blessed us with and the knowledge that we have in STEM today.
Thank you so much for that detailed. I like the fact that your answers are really detailed and very relatable as well too. So I know that there will be like a lot of people that's probably looking for opportunities to further their masters, people that, because I used to hear like so many talks like if you study microbiology or biochemistry, there's no future for you. Very funny, right? I've even seen it on Twitter as well too. So I want you to share with us some things that you've learned while being on this field that you think that other people should know as well too.
Wow, that's a very big question, because there's so many things, First of all, I would just say that if science generally is interesting for the people that, I know for some people they'll be like, oh, chemistry, they can't deal with, drawing the structures, they can't deal with a lot of, I think it's just about, okay, like I said, I'll say for science is interesting if you're out there and you're thinking, no, maybe science is boring. My dear, it is not. I think it's about interest. Then number two, find your interest, find what you enjoy. These are questions you should ask yourself. What would I enjoy? What would I enjoy doing? Would this make me, would I find fulfillment in this? How does this agree with the career I'm looking forward to building, and my personality, or things that interest me as a person, or where I see myself in 20, 25 years? Does this field relate to, does it key into that? It might not be the end, you might have to switch, but what are the skills that this will give me? What are the things I can learn from this? So before just making a choice, a lot of people spend the first 4 or 5 years in school, and it seems as if it is a waste of time, because they finish studying that course and they discover that it's not even relating to what they want to really, build a career, what they want to do at all. Although they say no knowledge, is waste, but really, that 4 years or 5 years, if you have channeled that energy into something you would really enjoy better, then it probably will produce more results. So I would say find your interest, know what you enjoy. Also look for mentors. You really need mentors in the field of science, trust me, because it is wide. Science is wide. You need to find mentors. Look at people that are doing things that you're looking at them and like, I think I find a connection between what I love and the kind of person I want to be and this person. Follow them closely. Look at their career path. What are the things they've done? What are the courses they've taken? You can even you can speak to some of them so that they can guide you. Some of them will have made mistakes in the past, and they'll tell you, oh, don't go this way. This was what I found out when I did this. I think you should do this now. Or the world has changed and things are no longer the way it used to be 5 years before now. So do this in this way. So I think you need to find mentors, and also you need to be very inquisitive. If you're going to be in science, if you're going to be in STEM, you need to ask questions. You need to read, because information, especially in the field of science, are in papers, they're in journals, they're in articles. If you will know, you need to read. And about funding opportunities, science, for you to do good science, for you to do good research, for you to enjoy it, there need to be funding. And there are funding opportunities out there. Trust me, you do not. One good thing about science is that it is possible for you not to pay a dime from start to finish of your education. People are looking for smart brains like you to fund just to come and do research. So if you find that this is where I want to stay in science, I want to stay in research, I want to stay in academia, trust me that people will need to pay for you, pay your bills, to pay for your education. Look for the information and just apply it, and then I think you'll be fine. This is just a summary. Like I said, there's so many things to say about this. It's not just enthusiasm alone. You need to get information and embrace your journey. Really, really embrace your journey. Slow and steady. It might seem like there are obstacles. It might seem like people would, there's so many things that would come your way, especially in the corporate environment of science as well. But just embrace your journey. There will be lessons to learn. Find what makes you happy as you go, and just hold on to that, really.
Wow. I really like the fact that you said there are funding opportunities. There are people ready to pay for your education from start to finish without you paying a dime. That one just rings the bell. Thank you.
They are out there. And also collaborate. Be open to collab. I think that's one thing I did mention. Be open to networking. Don't be an island. And I think that it can't be science and be alone in your own world. I used to be a victim of that. I know how that affected me. It was the moment I said, I can't continue like this. I need to meet people that have, that have gone ahead of me, that have gotten scholarships, people that have published papers, people that network with them. Go out there and apply yourself to service. Give yourself to service. Volunteer. These are things that will push you to opportunities, because they know that a lot of people run away from science. And when people find hardworking people, they hold on to them so dearly. They hold on to them. Do extra, go the extra mile, and you will see that, the people at the top, they will just be picking you out like this, giving you tips, giving you opportunities that you never even know anything about. So I think those are the few things I can add, so I don't take too much of our time here.
You're not taking too much of our time. Just be giving me. Really, thank you so much. I just knew that, like, when I started this podcast, I was just like, when I was looking out for speakers, because I never really had like a set of speakers, I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to utilize people that I know in my network, because I feel that by God's grace, I know like some cool, amazing young people that are really doing amazingly well. And I know that as I was just looking at, I was like, okay, this person has done this. And there are still some people that, just like you're kind of like low-key about your achievements. That's something that I've noticed. But I was like, Mary has a lot. I was like, the person that came to me, I was like, you have a lot to actually share. And I'm really glad that you are giving us all these tips. And I like the fact that you are, even me, I'm also learning on this episode, and you saying that science doesn't necessarily have to do with you just doing the hard things. You learn skills like collaboration. It builds your creativity. You become more innovative in what you're trying to do. And then you are also exposed to building meaningful and quality relationships with other people in that field. And now, that's true. A lot of people actually run away from science-related courses. Yeah, thank you so much. This would definitely be very helpful. So, can you recall any time in your journey that you've questioned your involvement in this science career, and then you're asking yourself that, who sent me message? In quotes, in Nigeria, will be like, who sent me message? And how do you deal with people that, give you negative comments or try to put your work down, or people that try to segregate you maybe because of your gender. There are a lot of people that have a bias towards young women or ladies that are doing or that are dominating other fields that are not so popular like that, or that are male dominated rather. So how do you do with issues like this?
Oh, I have a lot to say about that. I think the first time I got really angry with STEM, and I say angry because I was angry, or let me not say STEM. Now let me put STEM aside. Let me just say the academic, because so if I'm saying academic or research environment or science, just know I'm talking about science, like generally, just going forward. So I stopped saying STEM because my own area is just science, not technology or engineering or math. I'm just in the science field. So it's the fact that I discovered that for some people, for some reasons, in this our science field, we have some not people that don't believe in this women supporting women thing that we are carrying around. It's like, when you look up to certain people as mentors. So I had this, because I'm, in every organization, in every corporation, you definitely have the good and the bad. And that doesn't mean when you meet with the bad, you shouldn't think that they are not, then that's how everyone is. Trust me, there will also be the good side of it. If you look at it properly, or if you search properly, you find the good ones as well. And those are the ones you should focus on. But fortunately for me, I think starting out, I met with the bad, not so good examples. Let me not use bad ones. And because I was looking up to these were people that I was, when you are saying aspiring to be, be like, you want to be like them, you're looking up to them to help you, to put you through, to guide you, and then they're letting you down, and you're wondering, what is all this? Is this how the whole academia or research environment is? And I was really so angry. I was also really angry with the challenges that we are having, especially in Africa, which is one of the things that is motivating me to want to contribute in any way possible, using my skills, my experience, and whatever opportunities I can garner from wherever I am, to bring it back to Africa in one way or the other, to solve problems, because we have so many challenges, and we cannot shy away from this fact. When I went to a conference in Cameroon, and I saw young people like me doing things, research, you hear them speak, and I was like, where did we miss it, back here? Because we have so many challenges in terms of infrastructure, the quality, so many challenges that we have, equipment. There's some kind of research we cannot do because some kind of equipment are not available, and it makes you feel like you cannot be on par with your fellow counterparts outside the world. You begin to feel like you're half-baked. You feel like you cannot even compete with the same person that studied the same thing with you internationally or globally, So those were the kind of things that pushed me to say, okay, I really just want to go out there and get, I want to get the experience. I want to get skills. I want to be on that, international platform. I want to get that international experience, so that we can, because you can't give what you don't have. If you don't have something, there's no way you can give it to people. So I must be in a space where I'm teaching out knowledge or impacting people, then I need to get it right from the start. So those were the kind of challenges that made me really feel like, no. And then we also have people, when you're not really, as a lady, when you're really into this science career, then people start tagging you career woman, career. I cannot count the number of times I've heard that name. It's not bad, and I'm beginning to embrace it, but a lot of people believe that once you go into science as a lady, then every aspect of your life is probably dead. You're socially you're dead. Maybe when it comes to relationships, you're zero. You don't have any social life. You can't even be fashionable. There's just so many ideologies, and these are things that I, as a person, want to change. Starting with me, that you can be in science as a lady, you can be in STEM as a woman, and still be killing it in every other area of your life, and still be interesting, and still be, if they're talking fashion, if they're talking your spiritual growth, if they're talking of personal, talking of politics, anything, you can still be a well-rounded and well-balanced person. I think it's about your mindset and personality. Ladies should begin to go out of that thing. And once I've met people that will look at me and say, you're first class students, you're a science student. How come you can still dress fashionably like this? I'm like, eh. So they've said that if you're into science, it can't be any other thing. So just like, yeah, I've heard people say that countless times. Like some people will see my pictures and be like, I can't even believe you're a first class student. And I'm like, why? What do you mean? And that's not to say she go and be looking for my Instagram page. I'm not saying she go and be checking my pictures. That's just by the way. But really, there are so many, things surrounding challenges or things that, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to me can relate. But I'm glad I've also met with the good side. I've met people that are like, I'm like, yes, this is what we're talking about. I had a very wonderful supervisor, and I met very wonderful people in the UK as well. That I'm like, I've met people. Most of my mentors are also women. Like I said, I've met the bad ones and I've met the good ones. My current mentors are wonderful women. Trust me. I also have male mentors as well, and they've also been very fantastic. They are people of integrity in the science field. There are people that are willing to, really pick you by the hand, take you to the top without expecting anything in return. There are still good people out there in science. There are still good people out there in research. So I think, as a person, you should just pray that God will link you up with these people and that God will sustain you, as a person. So I don't know if I answered that.
You answered it well. And when you mentioned that people would tag you as a career woman, I don't know what I've done that people used to call me career woman though. I can relate. And every small thing, so this is a career woman. So this is a career woman. Then you will not be stuck. And then you will like, why are you calling me career woman? What am I even doing? It's just this volunteering and applying for opportunities that I'm just doing. It's not like as if I've even gone to one place in quotes or started a company or anything. And then you're tagging me as a career woman. It's not. I think I like your own approach to things. And for me, I think it's the same way I also approach mine. I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as a good thing. When people call you something like that, it means that you're I see that I'm trending in the right path. Because if you're not doing something worth it, people will not talk. That's just the truth. So if no matter what they say, I'll just say that, oh, you know what? I'm a career woman. Glory be to God. I show up, dress well. I attend events. I make sure that I contribute meaningfully to the community or whatever that I'm doing. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing some of the challenges that you face, and you questioning your involvement. We only pray that it kind of like gets better. So those of you that are this is not all rosy. There are some challenges that you would face as well too. Earlier on, you mentioned that that there are fully funded opportunities for people to look out for if in case they want to pursue a career in STEM or their master's or something like that. So can you like share some places that people can actually go and then look out for and try to apply for those opportunities, or maybe there are organizations or communities that you recommend for people to join, or maybe programs that they can apply for, or internships, or just some insight on how they can go about all of these things? Because some people just say you can just go on Google, but when you go on Google, you may not be able to. You may still get some information, but like we said earlier, information is key. So just a snippet of few information that you can share.
Okay, so like I said, if you don't know, you just don't know. And there are communities out there, there are organizations, there are individuals out there that all they are committed to doing is showing you these questions you're asking me, exposing you to opportunities, sending you links to scholarship opportunities. I belong to a group called First Class Group. And this might sound funny. I don't know if you've heard of that before. And trust me, this is a fast growing group where they have first class students. First Class Students Association, where all they do is mentor, guide, from sending you funding opportunities to when you apply the video, your statements, people are available to help you edit, till where you need to prepare for your interview. it's called the First Class Group, and First Class Leaders Network on Twitter. You can find that if you're a first class student. Even if you're not a first class student, I know there's another group for other categories as well, and there's a reason why there is a group for first class students separately, because there are different opportunities. Although it's not saying that if you're not a first class student, you can't get opportunities, but they divided it so that they can tailor the opportunities or tailor whatever help they want to render to you towards your credentials or towards what you have. So please look for First Class Group on Twitter or I know there are more, or LinkedIn. Then also there's one of my friends, Unique Jane. She is based in the US. She also shares funding opportunities. She shares about her experiences. I don't have a YouTube channel to share yet. Maybe someday if God wills, I'll have. But I know she has so many videos on. So Unique Jane, I repeat, Unique Jane. Just look for her. She has a YouTube channel and on Twitter as well. And now there's also Commonwealth Scholarship. If you type on Google Commonwealth Scholarship, you will find it. There's MasterCard Foundation Scholarship for people that want to go to Canada. Commonwealth is more of the UK. There's Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, which will allow you to do your master's in two countries. I have a friend that will be going to Italy and France for a master's this year, starting in September. Erasmus Mundus would take you to two countries at least to do your master's for 2 years. I know people do Ph.D. There's so many scholarships out there which I might not be able to remember right now, but I could share links. Maybe Success can put this later in the podcast, links to some of this. But I know what I'm just trying to say is that these opportunities are out there. There are so many people online now. 5 years back, we don't have people that are mentoring others in getting these funding opportunities. But as of today in Nigeria, God has blessed us with so many youths that are there. Well, some people, their Twitter page, what it is dedicated to is just to share links, and they are doing this without getting paid. So you need to connect to these people. I know of Oludi one, there's somebody, Samuel Adeleye. If you're typing these names on Twitter, you will see from their own tweet, you will find 10 other, from their own page, you'll find 10 other people that what they do is consistently sharing different links, because it's not exhaustive, because different opportunities keep coming up different. So you need to just be connected to people that will keep sharing resources. And then if there's a course you want to apply for, following that university online is important. That's what I've been telling people, especially on Twitter. Science field is really using Twitter, effectively these days. Follow that university online. They will likely post their funding. Look for that professor that you are interested in this kind of work and you're interested in working. Follow him or her online. If you put on your notification bell, you'll be the first to be notified when he has funding opportunities, because he will definitely tweet about it. Follow them on LinkedIn. These are the opportunities, especially Twitter. Please, that one people easily get you every single day. I think I've not even shared my own personal experiences enough. So for my PhD, I had actually got 3 funding opportunities, 3 PhD offers, but I ended up choosing one in the UK. So one of the opportunities I got, which was in the US, University of Miami, I actually met the lady, this professor, via Twitter. In fact, I wasn't the one that connected with her. It was my supervisor that just saw her tweet and said, "Oh, Mary, you might just be," and she tagged me on Twitter and said, "You might just be interested in maybe getting a PhD in the US with this lady," and she tagged me on her tweet. And then I just entered her DM on Twitter and said, "Oh, excuse me, ma, so I'm this and that," introduced myself. "Oh, this is my research and I think it aligns with your research interest, blah blah blah." And we set up a Zoom meeting. Right from that first Zoom meeting, she decided that she was going to take me, even though things happened and I ended up not going to her lab. But it was just, every other thing I did was just, it was right from there, just a tweet, just one tweet. So it's to say, be in the right place for the right opportunities to locate you. Be online, be there, follow the people that, will have the tendencies to share these opportunities with you.
Wow, you said a lot. This is a master class. This is no longer a podcast. This is a master class. Like, it's going more than the way I even imagined. Like, guy, thank you so much. Like, it's a whole lot. Me, I'm also taking my own notes. Like, I'm also learning and getting your tips as well too. So I don't want to ask you so many questions because I think that you've been sharing so much, and let your head not let your head not explode. So I want to ask you. This is we're almost getting towards the end of our interview. So, I'm sure that you've experienced a whole lot of things from academia to helping people out, and then you're a firm believer of collaboration and building meaningful projects. And then there is the place of leadership. So, what does leadership mean to you, given the fact that you're pursuing your STEM career? And you also participate in extracurricular activities like volunteering or maybe engaging in projects that give back to the society. How do you manage all this just in case you actually do that?
Yeah, thank you so much, Success. So to me, leadership can be defined in many ways, but I also see leadership as service. It means not being afraid to roll up your sleeves every once in a while and do some just do some work and serve, basically, because you can't lead if you're not willing to serve. Even Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, served us in many ways. So it means you trust and respect those people that you work with. It means you bringing other people up. It means putting people in the right place at the right time, being able to motivate and inspire other individuals to get them to where they need to be. So those are kind of, if I think of leadership, those are kind of things that pop in my head. And I've always given myself to service. So far, I've tried to always volunteer to do things, whether because I'm a Christian, and I try to give myself a service in that line as well. I held various leadership while I was in uni. I led any leadership post in school. Even outside the chapel or church, I was also one of the students' representatives. Outside that, I was also involved with going to a public secondary school nearby, where we always go to inspire students, especially the ones preparing for their WAEC exam. We teach them, we speak to them, we motivate them. So right from time, I've always been committed to community service. While I was a copper as well, I was part of the charity CDS, where we did a lot of outreaches to various places and villages, and I'm currently volunteering for different organizations as well, one of which is JR Biotech Foundation in the US and UK. JR Biotech is also trying to bring innovative ideas to solving problems in Africa. And so even though it can be a lot, volunteering can be a lot, but it makes me happy every time I'm able to be a part of something that has made an impact. And if you remember, like I said, for me, my career has just always been about how can I make an impact? How can I impact people? How can people be better versions of themselves? There are a lot of people that need help. And if somebody is not willing to, or somebody also offered help to me, I'm a product of so much help and grace and favor that I've enjoyed. So if we are not willing to pay it back to the community, then you'll have many people that have potentials out there, but because they don't just have somebody to extend a hand of help to them, they will remain where they are. So volunteering is not easy because it takes your time, it takes energy. And sometimes when I discover that, I'm choked up or I'm different things and I cannot be involved, like get my hands dirty in that area, then I sometimes will just support financially why I can. And I think it's just about your heart. There are so many ways. People say, I can't do this, but where you can, if you can't afford, even 500 naira, 100 naira will go a long way. So for me, leadership is not just about the title. Leadership is about how many people can your life impact positively? How many people can look back and say, if not for the sake of this person, if not for the sake of this foundation, if not for the sake of this person or this individual outreach, I wouldn't have been this. And that is one thing that has kept me going. So I try to always create time to be a part of something that gives back to the community, a part of something that is community oriented, no matter how much I'm studying or no matter what I do, whether in faith or whether in social work. God has just been really helping me to do that.
Wow. Thank you so much. I like the fact that you said nothing is too small. And there's a community I'm a part of called Youth X Youth, and there is what you said currently relates with one of our core principles. Small is small, small is everything. Small, no matter the efforts that you don't necessarily need to do something big. There's one of my mentors used to say, impact is impact. A lot of people are trying to mistake these things and say, if I don't start a big organization, or if I don't go to one particular big place for everybody to see me, I've not started impacting my community. That's the start with you and your own space. What are you doing for people in your own community, like people that know you, people that are within you? Thank you so much for that. So yeah, I want to know what's the next project? What's your PhD going to be about, and what is your project? Because I know PhD is all about you carrying a research or something. So what's your next project about? Just give us that overview. And
okay, I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to my PhD. I really thank God for the grace and the opportunity for, because I'm new to plant science field. I'd always wanted to do rotation PhD. I wanted to really explore different areas of plant science and not just jump on just one project because it was advertised and then do that for 4 years, because that is what mostly happens with PhD. A professor will advertise a project, and then if you're interested, or if you think it might be interesting for you, then you apply for it. If you're lucky, you get it, and you find yourself doing that for the next 5 or 6 years of your life. So I was like, I just want to explore a bit. I don't want to, because I did plant science for a year in the UK, but masters is not really is not as in depth as PhD will be. And this program is going to be a rotation program where I would be rotating 3 different labs. It's going to be at John Innes Institute. John Innes Institute is a research institute. It's not a university per se. And so there are different, plant scientists, trust me, world-class plant scientists there. And I'll be rotating 3 different labs. And then at the end of my first year, I get to decide which of these projects do I enjoy the most, and then focus on that for the next 3 years of my project. So I don't really have any project now that I'm fixed on doing, but basically the program is plant and microbial sciences, and the field basically is looking out for ways by which we can use molecular biology tools, biotechnology principles to create solutions to problems that is affecting food security in Africa and globally. So how can we produce more food? How can we improve crops? How can we produce more, resistant, insect resistant or disease resistant crop varieties? How can we improve agricultural production generally? So, or agricultural productivity generally. So basically, that is what my field or area of research will be focused on. So it might be any of that. So it's not fixed yet because it's a rotation program, but it's basically plant and microbial science.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. What a powerful episode, really. Okay, so I love asking my guests this particular question. All my guests, I used to ask them this question for some very amazing reasons, because I believe that as we are growing higher in life, we definitely experience some down times, even though you've done your 2 masters and then they are fully funded, and then you've won a fully funded scholarship to pursue your PhD in the UK. I'm sure that there will be times when you experience some failures or some bad experience that kind of like shapes you. When you're saying, feel like your failures are plenty. So, if you don't mind, you can share just a particular experience or a particular bad experience that shaped your mindset, and then you be like, you know what, I'm taking the lessons from this and I'm applying it in my life moving forward.
Okay, I'm trying to look back now, and there are many. Okay, I think for me it's been okay, maybe when I started applying for funding opportunities. Every man will get to a point in his or her life where you begin to get uncomfortable. And what I've learned about discomfort is that sometimes if you manage it well, it will push you into, greater levels. Once you begin to get uncomfortable or unsatisfied about your current situation, and you're like, it's time to move, it's time to go higher. Trust me, if you can keep that energy going with prayer and work towards it, it's a good thing to feel that way sometimes, because it will push you out. So when I started feeling like there's a need to, I want to just travel, I want to get international experience, and I started applying for funding. I didn't have, it was like as I will apply for this, right, some I got to the interview stage, and then they'll tell you, I don't know if you're a scholar, you understand why we say love letters. We call those rejection letters love letters. So many love letters that will be coming. The one I can remember, Chevening. Hey, that year I had applied for Chevening. I passed the first stage, and it was just the final stage where they said I should submit my reference. Everything, like my hopes were really high. That night I wept. Oh God, the night they said I wept. I was so sad. I cried. But I remember there was one thing I did that especially with Chevening. After crying, I wiped my tears around. I told God, I said, God, it must be that you have something bigger for me. I want to believe that I didn't get this one because you definitely have something that would blow my mind in front of me. You definitely have your own plan. And so I'm just going to sit back and watch you execute it. See, because I've tried my best. And right now I am tired. But I want to believe that all these failures are coming because you have something. And trust me, when God was going to show up, he showed up in grand style. He basically led me to where he wanted me to be. When the opportunity came, it was like a dream. When the scholarship came, it was like a dream. And when I got there, he gave me the best supervisor I could ever ask for. So when failures come our way, or when things don't happen in our own time, it's not because God doesn't love us. It's not because he's forgotten us, or it's not because you're not good enough. Trust me, it might not just be your time yet. And when your time comes, it is definitely going to be your time. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. There are so many places that I've always wanted to be, and when God will bring it to me, to be on a platter of gold. I've applied to a company before. I was trying to chase that company for 3 years. The way I was called to come and work in that company, that's a story for another day. Success, you have to bring me back on this podcast because I have many stories in my life to share, and I've been
Don't worry, I'll bring you back. The thing is that this whole podcast project is going in a dimension that I did not even expect. I just wanted to share the stories of young people because it has been in my mind. The idea has been in my mind, but I didn't know how to go about it. So I was thinking, do I do a live interview? Then a friend Yvonne was one that sent someone's podcast to me, and she was like, this lady is kind of like doing something that you want to do. And then I was like, are you serious? I just followed that up, and I didn't even send her any message. I just followed that up and just started seeing that she was really, really consistent with her work. And when I started, funny enough, all of you that have invited my guests, I truth be told, I've never gone out of my energy. All the people that I am inviting are just people that I know, and it has been so amazing that every conversation is very rich. Every conversation, people's experiences, I tend to learn. You guys are giving me first-hand insight into your life, and I don't even take it for granted. Like all these things that you're telling me, I'm sure on a normal one-on-one conversation, we're never going to go in depth like this, right? And I'm really, really grateful. Don't worry, maybe my second season. When you are in your second year, your PhD, I'll call you back. Then you will not tell us what you finally decided to settle on for your project.
Yeah. So I was just saying that there have been opportunities that I was struggling to get, and that made me cry, and then when it would eventually happen. So I'll just tell people that failure is not the end. is to tell you that this is not if you feel like something is telling you this is not, it has just shown you one of the ways by which that thing cannot be done. There are many, I can't count the number of personal statements. I can't count the number of interviews. I can't count the number of schools that I applied to before they want. And the truth is, people that you see big out there, they won't. A lot of people are trying to share their struggles now, and I'm glad that this podcast is balanced, where we're talking about the challenges and not just the success part. Because people think that if you're doing well, you don't have your own, you don't have struggles as well. Trust me, the person didn't just jump there. They've also gone through. Everyone will go through it, but it's to tell you there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Especially if you'll hear me saying God, because I'm a product of God's grace, and I can't remove that from my equation at all. Because if it is to go by my power or God to go by, I used to tell people, what do I know? When people say, you've hacked this scholarship thing, you're just, what do I know? It's really just God's grace. And I believe that if you're listening to me, really, whatever your faith might be, hold on to God. Pray. Walk as if you're not going to pray, and pray as if you're not going to walk. The two go hand, they go hand in hand. Failure may come, but definitely there will be time for success, because things come in season. One, it is your time, you would definitely, just be smiling. And I pray that everyone out there that's also looking for something, looking for opportunities, that God will bring them your way in grand style.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ayomide. We've had a very interesting conversation. This one is, I want to just call it, this one is just gist. We have a very conversation and gist, you sharing and giving us insights into your own life and your own journey. Thank you. I really hope that if you're listening to this particular point in time, you've been able to pick some of the lessons, and then you'll be able to apply it in your own life and in your own journey. So if you're listening to this, I hope you've picked out some of the lessons and some of the points that you need in your own career. Even if you don't want to pursue a STEM related career, everything that was shared in this episode is applicable in different aspects and in different fields of your life. So this is going to be my final question before I let our amazing Ph.D. scholar, our African scholar, winner of scholarships, 2 masters, and now going for our Ph.D. goal. So I want to ask you, what's the one piece of advice that you want to share that you can share with my listeners, or to someone that wants to pursue a science-related career, or people that are actually looking forward to winning scholarships like you've done? You've shared a lot of advices, but just one, by your final words.
Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. And when I say don't limit yourself, I mean in every area. Don't limit yourself in terms of information. Don't limit yourself in terms of how you connect to people, reach out to people. Don't limit yourself in terms of how far you can think. Let your imagination be wide. You can be anything you want to be. That program that you're imagining, or you're wishing you're on, you can get it. That particular degree, you can get it. So do not limit yourself in any way. Think wide. Like there's a way your imagination will expand that you'll not be able to settle for less. Sometimes you experience something before they even happen. You will have experienced the scholarship before it even comes your way. So just don't limit yourself. And I would say, like I think I mentioned some of it before. Network with people, collaborate with people, find what you enjoy, look for how you can make a difference in the world, because look for how you can make a difference in your own niche. Find your own niche and build on it. In there, there's always space for everyone. Don't say, everyone is doing this. There's always space for everyone. Just find your own niche, find what you enjoy, stay there, build yourself and grow. Invest in knowledge. Read books if you have to, meet people if you have to, ask questions when you're in doubt. Ask questions, ask people that have gone ahead of you. How did they do it? What do you need to do? And volunteer, and also pray. To be honest, pray that God will show you what you need to do to excel. I think that's what I can say.
Oh, I'm even giving you like a clap of vision. Thank you so much. Thank you
so much. It's been a wonderful discussion. At first I thought I was going to be a bit nervous, but thank you for making it making this fun and interesting.
Thank you really for sharing your story and your journey to help empower other young people like us. And it's a real testament that young people are doing amazing things and they are winning, and God is really helping us. God is really showing himself towards us. Thank you for also praying as well for people that have their own heart desires as well too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this particular point in time. So if you listen to this point, that means you are the real deal. And if you, I don't know if Ayomide is on Instagram, because I'm not following you on Instagram, I'm only following you on LinkedIn. So, but if you want to follow Ayomide on
Twitter.
okay, so what's your handle on Instagram and on Twitter? I'll still ask you afterwards, though, but just so people can know.
So on Instagram, Korede Mary. The Mary is MAYREE, and the Korede is just, of course, KOREDE. And then on Twitter, I go by Ayo the Scientist, because that's like my professional space. Ayo the Scientist, simply Ayo the Scientist on Twitter. So
okay, nice. That's really nice. All right, thank you so much for sharing. So you can follow her on Twitter and then Instagram, and then her full name will be definitely what you'll be seeing on this podcast. Ayomide Olukorede. That will be a LinkedIn name. So you can also connect with her on LinkedIn and just tell her that you listened in from the Limitless Journey podcast, and we definitely want to hear your feedback as well. Don't forget to share these episodes with friends, family, people looking forward to launching out their careers in full force. And I really hope it blesses you. Thank you so much for listening to this particular point in time. And my name is Success Yule Areeveso. Until we see you in our next episode, enjoy the rest of your day if you're listening to this during the daytime, and enjoy the rest of your night as well. To take care, and bye everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.